Module 4 is on administration and management. Excuse me. And our topics will be staffing, organizational structure, committees, communications and marketing, human resources, performance planning and assessment, that's evaluation, diversity, collective bargaining, that's unions, tenure for librarians, training and orientation, staff development, mentoring, and the social and cultural environment. To begin with, you should review the 3 different PowerPoint presentations that are in PDF format. Again, these do not have audio with them, so if you have questions, you're going to post them to the forum of questions about the lectures that's up on the topics list page in Moodle. And the first one is about rethinking your entire library organization with every vacancy. The second one is a sort of a general overall view of staffing in libraries. And then the third one is regarding the issues of tenure and promotion of librarians in academic libraries. That traditionally has been the approach and is becoming less so as tenure is becoming less prevalent or diminished, replaced by annual contracts or by adjunct faculty in higher education institutions in general. Then I've provided a resource from one of the ARL research library issues, number 272, that's on the 21st century academic library workforce. I think the one from this particular RLI that's of most interest is transforming roles for academic librarians, leading and participating in new partnerships. That's quite an insightful but not too long article for you to review. And the rest of the issue is also on staffing, so I left that there. Then we have 3 chapters plus a couple of pages in the textbook to review, and then a number of different articles on the different subtopics that we're talking about today. ACERL talks about competencies needed for research librarians. It is a bit dated, but it still talks about the basics of how we should behave and what are really the requirements of what is needed to be a librarian. And it's only 12 pages long. I still like it because even though it's, over 10 years old, because it still has the good philosophical approach that we need to be flexible and fit into the needs of the overall institution. And so that's why I think it's particularly relevant and appropriate regardless of the fact that it's dated. And sitting into the context of higher education, knowing information structure, demonstrating commitment to our values of librarianship, very clear, simple description of what's really important. Then you have John Cawthorn's Leading from the Middle about shared leadership, very important in teaming and more minds together in an academic library to make success. Then the Choi and Rasmussen is about staffing patterns and what's needed in the future. The Dewey and Keeley is about diversity. The Farrell is about having a faculty advisory group and how that can work well in the library to help move your agendas forward. The Murray Rust is about tenure. And then you have Stevens, Sari, Kimball, Foster, and Kitchens, which is also about tenure, how to support for success, and because a lot of people are still interested in it. And then the Stewart one is also about staffing trends in academic libraries. Once you reviewed all of that, we have 2 activities that'll be your initial post for both of those is due at noon on June 16th, and your response to another person in your group is due by June 17th at noon. The first one is to use the typical sources. I've got a list of several sites where you can find postings for current openings in academic libraries, and you can go retrospectively as well. And look for a position that really you think would be ideal for you once you finish your degree. And then in your post, give the job description or at least a link to it and why you think, answer these questions about it, why you think it's particularly of interest. I find the best list, Chronicle of Higher Education and then Inside Higher Ed for academic library jobs. So you're not looking for a job that's necessarily in the geographic area you're interested in, but just your ideal job. And it could be the right size for the right Carnegie classification institution that you're interested in. Okay, and then a post on whether you think it is appropriate for academic librarians to have tenure or not, or to go for tenure. And that is based on your readings of it and your own personal responses to it. And there are no assignments for this one.